We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
With Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Reality Rants. I am Jason Bermas. This is Red Voice Media. Remember, you get the second hour over at RVMRumble.com. And quite frankly, you're going to want to do the second hour because there's so many things that I can't talk about. Now, we're definitely going to be leading with this JFK story, or JFK. It might as well be a JFK story because that's what they want it to be. Let's hope it doesn't get there. But this RFK Jr. story should really get people to understand where we're at right now. We're in a nasty little place, okay? And honestly, it has been very nasty for a while. During the COVID 1984 nightmare, I mean, they ramped it up with the selective enforcement. In fact, where did I mark it down? I've got my man Pasta coming up, and I totally didn't mark it down. So now I have to think about when we're going to do this. Wait, maybe I do. No, yes, I do. I got it down there. I got him on Thursday. So Pasta Jardula, he does the show a lot and has for the past, I don't know, since that nightmare, like a little bit before COVID kicked off, he and I had connected, and it was funny because he was coming into it with this idea that Jason Bermas was just a conspiracy theorist. And sure, he might be right about some things, but it was going to be a ha-ha funny. And no offense, I know I was on this panel with somebody else who has a bit of wilder ideas than Jason Bermas does. And who knows? It's Reality Rants. We might just address some of those ideas today. A lot of haters want to hate and act like I haven't done my research at this and I'm poking fun at that. Not the case. So anyway, Pasta and I have grown a relationship even behind the scenes because I love that he's an on-the-ground guy. Yeah, I mean, period. On-the-ground guys have a huge place in my heart because it's firsthand. Okay, it's not through another lens. It's through somebody that I know and I respect, and their lens live. It's usually not an edited lens, and that's so important. And then I can get their perspective on the culture. It's not filtered through some corporate agenda. It's a big deal, right? Because right now, again, we're in dark times. So let's just say second hour, I don't even know if we're going to be able to play all the videos I want to in the second hour. I put out two powerful, in my opinion, premiums this weekend. We're going to be playing clips from those. But quite frankly, the Greta Crawford and Laura Bartlett interview, I don't think I could play any of that on this side. In fact, I got a new commercial again. Ray, if you're listening, just so you know. And I'm going to play this commercial, but I edited a word out. And quite frankly, I thought about blurring something else out too. I'm like, man, should I do that? That's how bad the censorship is. And that's kind of why I brought up Pasta in the first place before we get to RFK Jr. and how obscene this whole situation is. he's now like the stand-in host for Jimmy Dore. Awesome. And he's a regular on Dore with Metzger, another person I've got blessed enough to just recently meet, build a rapport through some texts, have him on the show. Very funny guy. I like comedians because I like to laugh. And really, comedians are some of the last great true philosophers on the planet. Just saying. Whether we like to admit it or not, that's the truth. I mean, they're beyond the poets of this generation, in my opinion. If we're talking about them culturally. So Pasta and I had a conversation. He's just like, I think that Jimmy's starting to get it, that there's a lot of people out there that do things and present information as good or better than he is, but they are so marginalized by the algorithm because they haven't played team baseball on the left, the right, the conservatives, the liberals, the Democrats, the Republicans. And now he's looking to give those people a voice because he saw what happened to Pasta, man. Pasta's been demonetized for a long time. He's got the same stupid thing when he reviews these harmful content because he focuses in on controversial issues. What? I mean, who deems something a controversy? It's only a controversial issue because the mainstream and the billionaire class and the predators out there and the social engineers don't want it discussed. They don't want anything opposing their great narrative. Ooh, it's a controversial issue. Controversial. Well, I'd say, I don't know, call me Ned McCluskey, but it's pretty controversial that you refuse to give a guy who obviously would dominate the old man in dementia, the puppet in chief, and he's just killing in the polls. You won't even give him Secret Service protection. And now you got some whack job. And by the way, you look at this guy. Here he is. Shows up, armed, And I'm not, who knows? Who knows what the intention of this whole thing is and how it got here? We're going to read the article. But my point is that you do have severely mentally ill people. Now, here's the key. They constantly tell you that they have to watch you and track and trace and database you. And if you don't have anything to hide, what are you worried about? Yet a nut job like this gets very close to RFK Jr. Now, the Secret Service would probably also be patrolling online. Their hands have been tied. And that's purposeful. I mean, if you think about it, if the predator class, those really in charge, can just get away with letting some Looney Tunes mother trucker assassinate this guy, better for them. Better for them. Now, once again, I'm not even, who knows what medications this guy's on, what kind of content he's been fed, okay, what his previous charges are with law enforcement and mental health. I have no clue yet. So again, we're not breaking out our spectator boots other than anything could be on the table here. But purposely saying, hey, we're not going to have debates. Hey, the primary is pretty much over. Hey, by the way, we're rigging the primary to not even allow you to go campaign, or you can't be on the ticket in certain states. In fact, that large discussion about that in my hour-long conversation with Nico House. Nico killing it over at the Hotspot and Beyond, by the way. And there's another person that I've been able to build a rapport with and have great conversations both on air and off air with, and whose work I respect because he's a boots on the ground activist. It's not just, and look, I like to think I wear many hats, but I'd like to get there on the ground more than I have in the past. Obviously traveling with the clay thing, that's not really on the, or the Red Pill Expo, but you've seen me at rallies. Those that followed my journey across the country, those that have been with me since 9/11, I searched the Nexium stuff. On the ground is where it's at. You know, those are the kind of things that need to get done more. So just encouraging that, just saying. So let's read this thing. Let's go through it. All right. I mean, the crazy thing is, take a look at how terribly ironic that this would have been. How close. I think he was like a couple blocks away from where his father was shot. Like really down a highway line and up how many homes? Insane. So here we go. Let's read it. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. demanded Joe Biden allow him Secret Service protection after an armed gunman was arrested at his campaign spot just 2 miles from where his father was assassinated in 1968. Just crazy. The Democratic presidential hopeful was speaking at a Hispanic Heritage Month event in Wilshire Ebel Theater in Los Angeles on Friday night when the suspect tried to approach him. Carrying a U.S. Marshal badge on his lanyard, the man attempted to identify himself as a member of Kennedy's security team. He was seen wearing 2 shoulder holsters with loaded pistols and spare ammunition. I mean, my goodness. The incident took place less than 2 miles from the former site of the Ambassador Hotel, 3400 Wilshire Boulevard, where RFK was shot and killed in June 1968 after winning the Democratic California presidential primary. The property was later redeveloped as the Robert F. Kennedy Schools after the hotel was demolished in 2005. I'm still entertaining a hope that President Biden will allow me Secret Service protection, Kennedy said. Yeah, that's a hell of a hope. So funny, I got a little Convo Couch notification right there. Kennedy stated after the eerie and scary incident, it's criminal. It shows how criminal and out of control everything is right now. They're now beyond, hey, we pretty much have a uniparty, especially when it comes to bombing people, to, hey, we outwardly want a uniparty. You got to remember, Joe Biden actually said in the beginning of his presidency, he didn't even sure the Republicans were going to be around in 2024. Like, you know what? Let's bring up that Dementia Joe clip. And it's insane to me. Let's see if we even get it on a We'll Do It Live search here. Okay? And by the way, if you want insight to my searches right there, guys, there it is. I've spilled the beans. I mean, these are the kind of stories you can expect today. So let's do it. Let's say Biden, not sure if Republicans will exist.
You also just made some news by saying that you are going to run for re-election.
Oh, look who it is. It's little Leslie Stahl in a mask. I know her name's not Leslie Stahl, everybody, but she's trying to be. I forget, it's like Christina Terrible Person or something like that. I right? Christina Terrible Person? Let's see. I hate that I even have that little stuff on the side. Had so many issues. I'm not even going to try to play with my computer right now because I can't even tell you the tech issues I had this morning. I was going to bitch about that. You don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about, look at her. She reminds me of like a mare in a stable. Just, and they got to put a little muzzle on her, but behind the muzzle is just establishment speak.
Leslie Stahl gets it. She does my bidding. She does my dirty work. Hey, Joey B. Not that you are Joey B. You're my zombie. What do you think about the Republican Party?
Man, this is insane.
I said that is my expectation.
So is that a yes that you are running for re-election?
Look, I don't know where you guys come from, man. I've never been able to travel. I'm a great respecter of fate. I've never been able to plan 3.5 years ahead for certain.
And if you
So again, I mean, this is like right in the beginning. He's pretty much dementia. He looks a lot better a few years ago right now, but he's still dementia-ridden. Okay? I mean, come on.
If you do run, will Vice President Harris be on your ticket?
I would fully expect that to be the case. She's doing a great job. She's a great partner. She's a great partner.
And do you believe you'll be running against former President Trump?
Oh, come on. I don't even think about it. I have no idea. I have no idea whether there'll be a Republican Party.
I don't know if there's going to be a Republican Party in 2024. That's what we're dealing with. We got to take a break. We're going to come back. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. It is Reality Rants, and I am Jason Bermas.
Attention Americans, breaking news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. Take action now. The Federal Reserve phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard. Your hard-earned assets are in jeopardy. But there's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Reach out to American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Visit protectfrombiden.com. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Be smart. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Visit protectfrombiden.com to get your free guide and get started. Again, that's protectfrombiden.com.
So once again, we're in a situation where these people don't want RFK Jr. to really even be on the ticket. I mean, they're pretty pissed he's running. Well, let's be 110% clear about that. They never wanted this guy to run at all. Not even a little bit, okay? And the guy that they did put in office, okay, and it must not be quite 3 years ago because I'm seeing the 2 years right there. So not quite 3 years ago he said this. Very confused then. But hey, Biden is tenderly let out of swanky celeb-friendly Italian restaurant Cantinori by his daughter Ashley. You know, the inappropriate showers, Ashley. Like, it's like, here he is. He said, "Oh, hey, what's going on? Hi there. Hello. Hey there. Oh." And they want to run him again. And they don't really want him there in 2024. That's something you want, like, the real breakdown of, I love Nico's breakdown of 2024, RFK Jr. and all of it. But you look at this, and this is the real, like, you know what I was thinking about when I was doing the thumbnail for this? I really stopped myself and I said, damn, man, that is got to be so terrible that, like, when you look up your dad, you can't help but come across pictures of him dead on the ground after being killed in the second political assassination after they killed your uncle. Like, wow. And that, I mean, is just so historical. You've got to almost be numb to it at this point. And then what all struck me was that RFK Jr. is now significantly older than his father when he got shot. And I thought to myself, man, that's so weird. It just shows you, man, there is a force. And I'm not saying the Kennedys are perfect. I'm not saying RFK Jr. is perfect. But if you legitimately believe that these people want, like, a free and fair election, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not buying it. Like, I think they want nothing to do with this guy. They want him to go away. They wouldn't mind the shock of an assassination because they would play it up politically. Period. By the way, let's continue on with this. Read the rest of it at least. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. Let's get 100 thumbs up, everybody. Kennedy shared on X, formerly known as Twitter, his thanks for the quick thinking actions of those around him who were able to intercept the suspect. I'm very grateful that alert and fast-acting protectors from Gavin DeBecker and associates spotted and detained an armed man who attempted to approach me at my Hispanic Heritage speech at the Wilshire Ebel Theater in Los Angeles tonight, Kennedy wrote. This is his, so we'll read it again. The man wearing 2 shoulder holsters with loaded pistols and spare ammunition magazines was carrying a U.S. Marshal badge on a lanyard and belt clip federal ID. He identified himself as a member of my security detail. Armed GDBA team members moved quickly to isolate and detain the man until LAPD arrived to make the arrest. I wonder if they just catch and release, right? Let's see what happens to this guy. I'm also grateful to LAPD for its rapid response. RFK Jr. added he hoped that he would be given Secret Service protection after the incident. I am the first presidential candidate in history to whom the White House has denied a request for protection. Insane. The insanity. RFK, a long shot? No, not a long shot. When Steve Forbes says you're going to be the nominee, you're not a long shot. When you're polling at 30 to 40% before any of the primaries and what would normally be debates, you're not a long shot. When you're running against a man who's clearly a puppet and a shell of his former self and a dementia-ridden mess, you're not a long shot. You're not a long shot. Did little Leslie get some insight, sneak in a line here? Little Leslie Stahl? I mean, come on. As he trails Biden 76% to 9% in the poll. That's nonsense. Lamented last month after the Biden administration denied his request for Secret Service protection. The Secret Service typically provides protection to major presidential candidates with 120 days of the election. That's a lie. That's a lie. I can't even believe they slipped this nonsense in here, man. It makes me ill. Come on. Just, this is not true. Okay, let's see. When did the Barack star get Secret Service? They gave it to him like over a year before the election, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure when he announced. Let's see. Today, the Secret Service, no. There's a Leslie Stahl moment. We're doing it live. You know, let's go to DuckDuckGo, because I'll bet you that'll give us a better response. So we're going to DuckDuckGo it. Let's see.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. So let's see what CNN fact-checked on this one. It's like CNN wants the guy shot. Who is this? Daniel Dale. Nice name, Daniel Dale. They fact-check highly. It's highly misleading. Let's see. He is a major candidate. Are they gonna say the Barack star? They're not even gonna tell you. So he didn't make any crazy claims. Of course he didn't. This is trash. Oh, they're saying Reagan received it in January 1984. Walter Mondale. Let's see. Mondale got it 10 months in 84. He's requested it. These people should be ashamed of themselves, but they have no shame. They're some of the most morally repugnant folks on the planet. In fact, I've got the Hochul stuff from New York. Can't play that in the first hour. You know, and kind of getting back to that, it's actually Jimmy Dore that says a word in this ad that I'll probably play it. I'll play it next. That'll be the new ad. We'll play that. And I'm always hesitant because I don't get the kind of slack Jimmy Dore does. And I'd take the word out. Because we read the new terms of service with YouTube, and they've expanded their censorship. They've expanded their definition of who gets taken down. So we're working with what we got here. It's really the bottom line. So, let's go with actually a good fact check. I saw this, and I was like, oh man, are they already going to try to debunk that some guy showed up with dueling pistols? And I've never seen this website before. It's COOPWB. And I'm like, here we go. And then I started seeing, okay, well, we're talking about Julian Assange, looks like a tech site, etc. They actually have a really great breakdown of this. And, they end it with conclusion. The RFK Jr. assassination attempt serves as a poignant reminder of the risks associated with being in the public eye. It emphasizes the need for diligent security measures for those voicing controversial views. As investigations continue, it remains to be seen what the final outcomes and public sentiment will be. Love it. Love it. It's got to imagine that doing real work here. They're doing real work. And my boy Nico House does real work. I can't cover everything. I could spend an entire show on Maui, like weeks on Maui. It looks like we're talking like 2,000 dead and more children dead by far than, say, on a 9/11 event. Really repugnant. And also the air quality there, similar to 9/11, as per first responders on the scene now going public. Do a whole show on that. Haven't even talked about what's happened in Libya. The Libya we went into destroyed their infrastructure. Okay? Once we destroyed their infrastructure, all of a sudden, they have a natural disaster. It just wipes out. Forget about it. I think they're talking 100K, something like that. Something we could not imagine in this country. And it's barely in the news. And there's certainly, it's never discussed about with any kind of culpability to our military-industrial complex. With that being said, we are going to go to some primetime discussions later on with myself and Nico House. But let's do it. Let's pop on some House talking from the hot spot on the Libya scandal.
What do you take from the text message
wrong one.
to his adult daughter?
Well, that's a good one, too. That's a really good one there, too. That's Biden's scandal 101. We can do. But I must click. Man, see my eyesight. I should be raring to go. It's Monday. I got some good sleep last night. All right, here's Nico.
So some idiot journalist woke up in the morning, decided to take a sip of coffee, and thought to himself, it seems like a good day to tell a lie about what happened in Libya. So this columnist for the Washington Post had the audacity to say that the catastrophe in Libya was everyone's fault. And I'm here to tell you, he's full of shit. Like, porta potty fixed right in between the taco truck and the coffee stand at Coachella levels of full of shit. First of all, the ongoing catastrophe in Libya is happening solely because of the US and NATO working to assassinate this man, the former leader of Libya, Muammar Gaddafi. In 2011, the US and NATO powers decided to kill Gaddafi because they claimed that he was bombing his own people and what let them decide their own destiny. Which, of course, once again, is a lie. Let's start with the Gold Dinar Initiative. In 2009, Gaddafi met with the African Union, which he was currently president of, and proposed a plan where they used gold and oil-backed currency so that they would not have to purchase oil from America in any capacity going forward. Had Gaddafi not been assassinated, this would have likely come into fruition because he was extremely popular across the African continent. And he was beloved by Libyans and Africans everywhere because he instituted popular policies like free water, almost totally free gasoline, and even free healthcare and education. In addition to all of those popular policies, he also virtually eliminated jihadism in Libya. Through the release of Hillary Clinton's emails, we found out that the US and NATO figure out about the plan for the Gold Dinar and decide to do something about it. Coincidentally, Once the US discovered this plan, rebels from Chad, a country that was mostly controlled by NATO, and the country bordering Libya, end up wreaking havoc in Libya, and of course Gaddafi was forced to defend his country. And that was the excuse NATO needed to claim that Gaddafi was bombing his own people, as they then proceeded to bomb Libya for 8 straight months. And NATO said that they had to bomb Libya and assassinate Gaddafi because it was a humanitarian crisis. But what actually happened is, jihadism ran rampant after Gaddafi died, and open market slavery was brought back to Libya. And the US, France, NATO, and everyone involved in the assassination of Gaddafi have had zero to say about it. So no, the Libya disaster wasn't everyone's fault. It was the fault of the same people who caused most of the problems and socioeconomic disasters around the world.
If you're like me and you want to be prepared for the unexpected,
that's where the wellness company's emergency medical kit comes
over
in.
40% of Americans say that they would avoid a doctor or a hospital unless it was a catastrophic situation.
Medical emergency kits with...
The kit contains 8 potentially life-saving medications for you to keep on hand in the event of natural disasters, supply chain shortages, medical emergencies, or like an apocalyptic situation. These are the actual medications that you would need in the event of certain situations. So they've got emergency antibiotics, antivirals, antiparasitics.
And there you go. And there you go. Nico killing it, as always. I do want to play that clip. So, the clip, first of all, laying it out, other than the fact that, like, you also had Cackle Monster original style, because right now, Kamala the Cackle Monster is really in it. I'm talking Hillary. Got a little cackle of her own. Hill Dog. We came, we saw, he died. And she cackles away. And if you want to watch Gaddafi's like last moments on the planet, you can. Him, begging for his life and saying it's basically against Muslim law, what they're doing to him, dragging him. He gets, anally penetrated by several objects. Like, didn't die a fun death. Let me just say that. Or what I would call a close to normal one. But hey, what are you going to do, right? No biggie. Just total and complete insanity. And so, this is a gentleman from the Washington Post basically playing dumb and acting like there's no evidence that Hunter was in business with Joe Biden. He like these are the authoritative sources. And when he's confronted with the fact that they have the text messages between Hunter Biden and his sister saying that he gives half to Pop, he goes, I don't know what that means. And that's circumstantial evidence. Perhaps he thinks it could possibly mean that Hunter Biden is actually in business with the nefarious Corn Pop, and he owes Corn Pop, who was a bad dude, and his father once had to attack with a chain. He owes Corn Pop the money. He pays half to Corn Pop, not Pop. You see, Jack, that's how it is. So, I mean, this is just classic stuff right here. Let's go.
What do you take from the text message to his adult daughter, Hunter's text message, that I have to give 50% of my income to Pop?
I have no idea what that means. I don't. I have no idea what that means.
Well, it's
I know it's circumstantial evidence, and you prefer that.
No, what could it mean?
I have no idea.
But
I don't know.
Well,
I appreciate your.
So I guess it's not to his sister; it's to his adult daughter. He goes, "You prefer circumstantial evidence." I mean, think about how this guy. Look at this guy. Awful.
What do you take from the text message to his adult daughter, Hunter's text message, that I have to give 50% of my income to Pop?
I have no idea what that means. I don't. I have no.
I have no frame of reference. I have no clue. I'm an invalidic, small-minded minion of the establishment. I do what I'm told, sir. And by the way, not even 100 thumbs up. Can we get the thumbs up? can we get a moving for Reality Rants? Second hour, by the way, rvmrumble.com. And support the broadcast, redvoicemedia.com/uncensored. We're going to be playing some primo clips coming up, I promise.
No idea what that means.
Well,
I know it's circumstantial evidence, and you prefer that.
No,
to
what
direct evidence.
could it be?
I have no idea.
But doesn't it?
I don't know.
Well,
I appreciate your.
Has anybody asked her?
He's smiling. I appreciate you having me on. Has anybody asked her? Like, you prefer... Like, he even tries to demean the guy. Like, you prefer circumstantial evidence compared to... I mean, what is this? Let's bring it on back. Bring it on back.
I know it's circumstantial evidence, and you prefer that.
No,
to what
could it?
You prefer that to what? Like he mumble sauces direct evidence? What?
I have no idea.
But doesn't it?
I don't know.
Well,
I appreciate your.
Has anybody asked her?
I don't know. I don't know.
Don't you think somebody should ask her?
Okay. Like I'm not. I just said I don't know, and I don't know what to make of it, so I have nothing to say about it.
Yeah,
what
but
do you want me to say?
Yeah, but you say there's no evidence. But then there's a text message where he says, "I give Pop 50% of my money." That's evidence.
Okay. Well, okay, fine.
So
it's evidence. I appreciate you having me on.
I'll admit, it's evidence. I appreciate that. Look at this. You know, again, he's got a little bit thicker of a neck than even maybe I do. But boy, he sounds like a pencil neck. Jason, are you culturally appropriating pencil necks? Oh, are you nerd shaming, Jason?
It doesn't. Something like that. Who do you think is more? I listen to that and I'm saying, you can free to go.
I feel you want me to leave, like just walk out in the middle of this because that way you can
you can go.
Right.
Is this a standard? Really, this is the way the Washington Post handles people who disagree with them.
When I agree to be on for 45 minutes,
go,
and then
go.
I get on for an hour and 15. Yeah, that after a while I go. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. Then after a while I go. I did an extra half an hour. How dare you ask me that question? How dare you insinuate that was evidence? I mean, we're in the post-truth world, everybody. We're post-truthing it. You better believe it. And, yeah, man, I'm trying to think what we want to do for this. We're already up on like 3/4 through the first hour. And I just got a shizzle McNizzle ton of stuff, including this Peter McCullough thing that I wanted to do. Let's hit some of the stories because otherwise I won't. And I want to actually focus in on this one. Over martinis, Marilyn Monroe warned me about the wolves of Hollyweird and their depraved casting couch. She wasn't wrong. And this is Joan Collins. And Joan Collins, maybe the millennials won't remember her, but I know Joan Collins. Joan Collins kind of even a fixture. As I was a kid, you see her on like daytime television, in ads, like former actresses and beauty queens, et cetera, et cetera. And by the way, I see on the side there, Russell Brand. I know what they're all saying, you know, about Russell Brand, this and that. I'm not even going to weigh in on it because, like, Hollywood actors like that. First, you know, I've already read it, and I've read as young as 16-year-old girls. The way Brand has portrayed himself in the past, it really doesn't shock me. And you notice we've never really focused on Brand here either. I think we've covered him a few times when he said some things that I super agree with or done so. I think the Hirsch interview was important because it had something about the balloons, etc. But we've certainly never been... I'm just not focused on, like, cults of personality. But, yeah. Let's get into this. At first, I didn't register who was the nondescript blonde sitting alone at the bar, at the bar was. I had only arrived in Hollywood a few months earlier and was still finding my way. After a few moments, the woman turned to me and said rather sadly, they wanted me to play the lead in The Girl in the Red Velvet Swing, but I'm too old. The film she'd mentioned was my first starring role since arriving in the U.S. age 20. It suddenly dawned on me that this pale-faced woman was the fabled Marilyn Monroe. So in other words, she got the part Marilyn recognized her and made a comment about it. She was extremely friendly, so we started chatting. After a couple of martinis, she warned me about the harassment in Hollywood and the wolves in this town. I replied that I was well used to them after several years in the British film industry. All of us have had to put up with having our bottoms padded and men leering down our cleavage, I told her. Oh, it's a little more vicious than that, isn't it, Marilyn? And I guess we're talking Kennedy assassinations. And, I would be remiss if, you didn't point out that it looked like both JFK and RFK had affairs with her. That's nothing compared to the studio power bosses, honey, Marilyn replied. If they don't get what they want, they'll drop your contract. It happens to a lot of girls. Especially watch out for Zanuck. If he doesn't get what he wants, he'll fire you. Well, thanks for the advice, I said. I'll definitely keep away from him. I tried to heed her warning, but at a studio a few days later, Daryl Zanuck himself, producer of such classics as The King and I, The Longest Day, Carousel, and The Snows of Kilimanjaro, pounced on me, trapping me against a wall. Breathing cigar fumes, he hissed. You haven't had anyone until you've had me, honey. You haven't had anyone until you've had me, honey. Oh, my goodness. I'm the biggest and the best, and I can go all night. I was so shocked, I couldn't think of anything else to say. I managed to wriggle free and ran back to my seat. I'm glad I was speechless, because I heard that a starlet had recently been fired because when he said, baby, I'm the biggest in the business, she responded, you better be, because you're only 5'2". Shabango! It was the stuff of legend that he had a golden replica of his manhood sitting on his desk as a paperweight. But it was true. I saw it once in his office. Ugh. Can you imagine? Just even if it's yours, having a golden dick sitting on your desk where you work as a paperweight? Yeah, it's not Holly weird. I mean, come on. In the aftermath of the Harvey Weinstein scandal, the full extent of the depravity that pretty young actresses were forced to descend to the potential roles was finally out in the open and no longer continues, or at least is no longer accepted, I hope. Exactly. Like, doesn't keep going. Come on now. But it went on for far too many decades, I know, because I was there. Listen, I would doubt it's over. I would doubt by any means it's over. My first encounter with the casting couch was while testing for the juvenile lead in the 1952 British movie I Believe in You. One of the producers had made such obvious advances that I had to dodge him by hiding in a wardrobe in the costume department. Helped by sympathetic dressers and waiting until he left the studio before taking the bus and tube home. But after my third test, he caught me and persuaded me to accept a lift home in his flashy Bentley. During the ride, he grabbed my hand and put it on his open fly. Love it. Well, I wonder how old this kid was. How old? A juvenile role? You can't tell us how old you were? I screamed in horror and yanked my hand away. What's the matter? Don't you want the part? He leered. He goes, not much, not this much, I cried, childishly bursting into tears as I realized I had blown my chances. I'd never seen a naked man before, let alone felt one. Gross. Are you frigid? He hissed. It was the first time I had been called that by a man, but sadly not the last. Men who, because they were rich and powerful, thought that women were playthings could be very cruel. But the recent light that has been shed on the film industry has not only landed on the predatory institutional sexism of Hollywood, it also has been shed on any business run by ruthless, powerful, and misogynistic men in other industries. Has it? I mean, has it really? I mean, first of all, I get it, Joan Collins. You know, you don't want to, like, lead with it, but, like, if you lead with the fact that you were basically molested as a child to get a part, that's like the bigger headline. Marilyn Monroe grabs the eyes, sure. But this is just, again, People talk about systematic. This is systematic. Or systemic. I'm sorry. Systemic. Systematic as well. All right, we're going to take another break. We're going to come back. Final segment of the first hour. Then we can get to the juicier clips. We can talk Hochul and a little bit more of the COVID-19 84 nightmare. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. And we will be back after this word from our sponsor.
When I invented MyPillow, my passion was to help each and every one of you. And 20 years later, all of your support is what keeps us going. Because of you, we've been able to create thousands of USA jobs and help millions get the best sleep ever. To thank you, my employees and I are bringing you a limited edition MyPillow. The Giza Elegance MyPillow is made with my patented adjustable fill, the most amazing cotton, and a 2-inch pipe gusset. It has 4 custom loft levels, machine washable and dryable, and you get my 60-day money-back guarantee and 10-year warranty.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your limited edition 20th anniversary MyPillow queen size. Retails for $69.98, now only $19.98. That's right, get a queen size MyPillow for only $19.98.
From all of us here at MyPillow, thanks America!
All right. I want to do at least one clip of the Primo here with I think that with Nico for sure, because I don't think I can do the Laura Bartlett Greta Crawford one. Remember, this is how you support the broadcast. redvoicemedia.com redvoicemedia.com/uncensored. Try it out for $1 for a week, and 2 powerhouse interviews again this week before anything else. And I realized yesterday I posted I think it's the Allison Morrow interview on my social media. That was like a month and a half ago. It's like a month and a half plus back, almost 2 months back on posting those for free. That's why you want to go to redvoicemedia.com, because redvoicemedia.com also every 2 weeks lets those Primos go free and without me posting them. And it's tough for me to catch up. A lot going on in my life. And look, it's not like it's just one post and one video. It's several videos over like 3 different platforms minimum. Not bitching. I love my job and I love you guys. And thank you for making it possible. So right here is myself and Mr. House. We're a gravy train with biscuit wheels. So continue.
So back, like I was saying, when I was a young strapping man in 2016 for Others Gray, I was part of the Bernie campaign, and I was the state director at one point for North Carolina. And to make a very long story short, I caught cheating in real time. And it wasn't just actually with Bernie's campaign. I actually was working for a gubernatorial campaign for a gentleman named Kenneth Spalding. He was actually the lawyer who actually told Johnny Cochran to say, if the glove don't fit, you must have quit. He was on that case. He's in the OJ documentary, as a funny aside. But effectively, I had discovered that they had been putting plants from Hillary Clinton's team into Bernie's campaign. Now, it was a pretty, believe it or not, it wasn't like as complicated of a process as you might think. What they would do is they would take people that they knew were Clintonites, which there were a lot of. I mean, the Clintons have been building up this network basically since they started the Democratic Leadership Council in the late 80s, early 90s. And they would pay them through the Hillary Victory Fund and the 501c4s like that. And then immediately, all of a sudden, they ended up on Bernie Sanders' campaign. It was very easy to make these connections because of you could go and look at the FEC filings. And then, of course, I'm getting calls I did a video, actually. The reason I was able to basically figure out that it was national was because I did a video. And I'm going to be honest with you, Jason, I was like 25, 26 years old. So I wasn't doing the video because I thought I was going to get the most reach. I was just on the way to spring break, and I had no energy, nor did I have the will to make individual phone calls to everybody in North Carolina to figure out what was going on. So I was like, hey, y'all hit me up because I don't got time to be calling all y'all. That's really how it happened. I'm not even joking.
Smart.
It was like
viral marketing back in the day. Very smart.
Yeah, right?
Seriously.
So what ends up happening is the video from my little page goes viral. And I'm getting staffers, other politicians running for office, consultants, former DNC chair people from different states, all calling me, telling me that they're experiencing the exact same things that I'm experiencing and that the staff in NC was experiencing and the volunteers were experiencing. From the canceling of events, there was one situation where we were explicitly invited to an event by Reverend Barber. It was called Moral Mondays. And we were told after doing all the preparation, like a day or so before, oh, no, you can't go because he's not allowing anyone to go there to push political agenda. We're like, well, we weren't actually going there to push political agenda. We were invited, first of all. And Moral Mondays is a thing that everybody goes to in North Carolina. And we found out that not only were Hillary Clinton people there, but they were wearing all the Hillary Clinton stuff, right? They're all their paraphernalia. The person who told us that we weren't allowed to go was the new state director because, you know, I had to get on with my life as a student. I was a senior at University of North Carolina at the time when I was state director. And she was not just like close to the campaign. She was friends with Debbie Wasserman Schultz, had just gone to a Hillary Clinton rally like a week or two before she was hired, has pictures at the rally with the, you know, the Go Hillary signs and all that good stuff. Or was it, what did they used to say? It's her turn? Yeah, that. And she was the one. Yeah, I know, bro. Don't get me started.
Didn't it have like the lady symbol, like the female symbol in it, the her turn
something
one? Now,
like that.
Now
yeah.
that you're giving me nightmares
of
past.
Exactly. So I'm putting all these pieces together, and what ultimately, like, it was at this point, it was kind of like, I know that this is not normal. I know because I knew Reverend Barber, like not personally, but I know how he operates. He even said that's like whoever told y'all that y'all couldn't come was lying to you, basically is what he said. And she was like, oh, I should do, the one I'm talking about was like, oh, well, someone from his camp told me that. And so, all right, whatever. So I started talking to a woman named Teresa Bryant, who had been pivotal in Bernie's campaign and was part of the reason he did so well in New Hampshire. She had got moved back down to North Carolina, and we both had the same feeling about Aisha Do. So we didn't tell anyone in the campaign how close me and Teresa were because we wanted to see how they would act. I was on right before I'm about to leave the spring break. I get a message from somebody telling me, "Hey, how are we going to organize for this Bernie event?" And I'm like, "What? What Bernie event?" That's how I found out. Some random person who just calls me. It was like, "Hey," because at this time I'm the president of Carolina Students for Bernie. I'm the former state director, basically still handling those duties, and I'm the one leading the organizers. I'm the president for the colleges, for North Carolina colleges for Bernie. So obviously I should know something like this. But they waited until about 2 days before I was leaving, and some random person asked me because.
And you know, just as I was thinking to myself how smooth the show's running today, just as I'm thinking, man, my software hasn't crashed yet, my videos haven't crashed yet. All of a sudden, I see Nico House's face freeze while he's describing how they're rigging the system against Bernie. And basically the people that were on the inside keeping him on the outside were really working for the Hillary Clinton campaign, and he brought a lawsuit. It just really upsets me that now I have to go back in and I have to, you know, grab all the videos again. I've got to start saving playlists now in the AM, so I don't have to do it live like this, because I'm gonna have to roll. You know, I got to go grab the commercial that I have to roll right now. I got to grab all the little videos that I still haven't done. Luckily, they're still all right there on the top. That's good stuff. At least we have that. At least there's that. Boy, man. Just killing me. Killing me, everybody. It's a tough day. That's why I need the thumbs up, the subscribes, the shares. We you know, I did this radio show on Friday morning locally it's on Vintage Radio in Illinois, and had a really good time. But it seems like I've got, you know, that I wish I could go on more of those tours, the AM and FM crowds that aren't on the alternative media bandwagon, that don't know a lot of this information. Because I find that actually that usually helps grow my audience more than even collaborations at this point. Maybe that helps a little bit, but, you know, I do huge shows like Mel K. She's got a great audience, huge audience. Barely get any overturn on that. And, you know, it's because, YouTube is rigged. I had somebody in here just in the chat the other day going, wow, I hadn't seen any of your videos. I thought you were done making videos. And I realized it wasn't just because they shut off the notifications. They unsubscribed me. Really? No kidding. I'm shocked. Second hour, when we get to it in about 5 minutes, by the way, we'll have a lot of the Hochul dictates, if you will. Good old, we love Hochul here. She's number one. She's the best. I mean, you can tell New York loves Kathy Hochul. I called her Kelly for a while. We should just call her Kelly from now on, I think. I think Kelly's a good name for her anyway. That's how I feel. I mean, who knows? It's so outwardly upsetting and depressing that somebody like that got installed and then won an election, even if it was against Lee Zeldin, who's also terrible. Just want to point that out. What do we got? We got a few minutes left before the commercial. Stephen Greer, with the alien thing in Mexico, et cetera, et cetera. I might as well play this clip. Probably won't get through the whole thing because it's so upsetting. But let's try to.
So what I'm also working on with a group of people would be the enforcement part of it. Now, what I'm about to say is a little spooky. In fact, it's terrifying. But I've been asked to assist with a team of people who have the means, upon authorization, to basically take over all of these illegal black sites, corporate and military.
It's not real. None of that's real. Stephen Greer is a grifter and a liar. Do you understand right now that none of what he's saying right there is real? He knows a team that's going to be able to take over the black sites. Now, listen, that is like David Wilcox total grifter nonsense. No one should trust Stephen Greer, period. He is as compromised and terrible as it gets.
But they can't do it without having actionable intelligence. So one of the things I'm putting out through your show and every other show I'm on is that we need more and more of these whistleblowers who know precisely where the materials are stored, where the man-made Raytheon, Northrop, Boeing, Lockheed devices are being built, where the ET bodies are located, where the underground base entrances are. So this is what we've been collecting for 30 years.
And that's what he hears. He's the spoiler, bro. Because the black sites are real. The underground stuff is real. The Raytheon, the Lockheed, that's all real. Alien bodies. I got the super secret squirrel force ready to take over at a moment's notice. And they got the necessary means to do it. They just need the intel. Get the fuck out of here.
We need more and more detailed information because I'm handing that off to both people with the Pentagon, White House, and the Congress. And ultimately, that data is going to be needed in order for them to get any of this under control if there isn't voluntary compliance. And as you point out, these people are so powerful, wealthy, and arrogant. And one of the points I made very recently to Congresswoman Luna, who's heading up this effort in the House, along with Burchett and a couple others, when I had a meeting with her a couple weeks ago down in St. Petersburg, Florida, I said, look, you're not going to get this stuff by knocking on the front door and saying, pretty please, will you show me what you have, right? Because if anyone who saw these hearings, I was watching it at a distance. Because I already knew all the people who were going to be there. And
they didn't let me in on this grift for some reason. And I'm very hurt that I couldn't be Grifty McGrifterson. Grifter. Stephen Grifter. But again, man, I know the people. I'm talking to Congress people. Stephen Grifter, everybody. I do want to finish that clip. It's over a minute long. Instead, we're going to go to break. We're going to come back. I'm going to tell you where you can watch me watch that full clip. Then get to other terrible people like Hochul. This is Reality Rants. I am Jason Bermas. Please consider the supporting the broadcast. redvoicemedia.com/uncensored. $10 a month, $100 for the year. Lock it in. Couldn't do it without you guys. With that being said, let's go to our final commercial of the hour.
Have you heard of Executive Order 14067? This little-known order implemented the digital dollar, the most sinister plan to control your spending. And it gets worse. In November,
I think I grabbed the wrong one. See, look, I have everything ready to go. I'm going to make you guys go through another. I'm sorry, everybody. I grabbed the wrong one. Let's go to this one here. Sorry, everybody.
We interrupt today's programming to bring unfortunate news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. So take action now. The Federal Reserve's phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard and put your hard-earned assets in jeopardy. But here's the good news. There's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Speak to someone at American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Dial 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now. 833-287-2465. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Call 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now. 833-287-2465. Act swiftly. 833-287-2465.
All right, everybody. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. We got to go, YouTube. A lot of stuff on the old bibbity-bobbity-biggity-boo that we can't talk about here. RVMRumble.com is where you can check it out. I love you.